Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here,
Hey
and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. Only 17 short episodes away, 17 short weeks I should say, not episodes, short weeks away from the 200 comic book review. Lots of things have been going on for the past 180 plus episodes, and lots of things are continuing to change as time moves forward. C2E2 happened last week. We already talked about this during the last episode because the last episode was late. Last episode we shot only a couple of days ago. We're back on time now. We're both okay. We're both not sick. Thank God. Knock wood.
Nope, knock wood back here.
And with this episode, 17 episodes away from 200, the tides have changed yet again in the comic book review as far as the order in comic books. I had to figure out a way of saying it. Once again, well, the indies were always first, but once again, Marvel has gone to the second spot on this review, and DC has gone to the final spot. So we switched it up once again because we're not getting as much Marvel as we were before, and we're getting a lot more DC again. So DC takes the dominant final spot in this comic review just because it's basically where we get the most comics that goes on top, or which company dominates as far as how many books we get per week from the company, and DC's been on top as far as the amount of books for the past 3 weeks, and with that, that's basically a month. This is a month's worth of DC being on top, so the order once again changes back to its original format from when we started, when I started my reviews on YouTube, and now it's we, but it's basically back to the way it was from episode 1 through
now
100 and something. I don't know when Marvel actually took the final spot.
I think it was like towards the middle.
It was like the New 52 happened, and then it was like a couple of months, like a half a year in. So I'll say around the 150s, maybe 140s,
yeah,
somewhere.
I was saying the halfway
where things
mark.
switched. Yeah. 40 episodes later, DC returns to the final spot on the reviews. And
I got more comics.
Times. Yes, we both have new comics that we're reviewing that we haven't.
But I have
reviewed
more
before.
instead of just one or two. Just I got plenty.
The comics we are talking about that were released in this week's video were released on May 1st, 2013, the first week of May.
Your birthday, Mom.
And by the way, guys, I know it's a day late, but happy Free Comic Book Day. Hope you guys got everything you wanted, as well as happy Cinco de Mayo, even though this is going up the 6th of May.
So we're wishing them a happy...
So we're wishing you both both holidays, a belated happy both holidays. I feel like I have a light shining on me. Anyway, first off, not reviewing it, just saying Guilty Pleasure Garfield 13. If you're a Garfield fan, you will be picking this up. Love it. It's colored by Lisa Moore, a member of ours on Dark Avenger Inc. Even though she's really busy doing lots of work, she's going everywhere. She's doing everything. Love her coloring work. Hopefully she'll be coming back to us sometime in the near future rather than the distant future. But anyway, Garfield 13. Awesome book, as always. Guilty Pleasure. Michael's actually going to take the first book to review.
Yep. First book is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics issue number 10. Shredder has returned, and the Turtles are... Well, actually the 3 Turtles, because Leonardo has been hurt from the last issue thanks to the Foot Clan. So basically, guys,
it's like the movie.
Yeah, I was about to say this is just like the movie. For those of you who have watched.
Wait, let me see the back.
The back of this. City Fall, Volume. Did you get it?
Issue number 22.
Well, okay. On sale, man, yeah.
City Fall for the new Turtles is going to be starting in issue 22. That's going to be interesting.
So basically, yeah. So Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello are fighting the Foot Clan, while April and Master Splinter are trying to get Leonardo out because, like I said, he was hurt. And it's just really action-packed. The artwork is really amazing, and you know, we get to Shredder, who they meet in April's shop, and actually Casey Jones, this is an epic picture right here of Casey Jones, comes in and helps out the 3 Turtles fight, and it was at April's shop who got caught on fire, just like the movie. Everybody, you know, retreated, and now they're
basically
headed,
escaped.
Yeah, and now they're headed to Northampton in the next issue. So this book was a really excellent book. Favorite book of IDW.
I'm glad to see it's colored. You know, I'm glad that they're catching up with the colored classic. What are you doing?
I'm trying to turn it off. Oh.
It's nice to see that they're colored. It's fun to see it in color. Of course, it's classic to see it in black and white, but it's nice that they're actually going back and they're recoloring literally everything from the Turtles. Except they skipped an issue already. Moving on to Archie Comics, which this is actually the final indie book for this week. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue 248, takes up right where the previous two issues actually left off, in the exact spot where the two issues left off, because the first two issues were basically setting up for what's going to happen in this issue. The fight between Mega Man and Sonic, and basically they both say it at the almost simultaneous time, I may not be able to take this guy. They're both just too evenly matched. It's like Vegeta versus Goku. There's just too much of an even stance. So Sonic is kind of dominating Mega Man in his world. However, Dr. Light, I believe, is
Dr. Light.
Dr. Light finds the technology thanks to what's his name? Proto Man. I was gonna call him I'm not gonna say it again, but okay. Thanks to Proto Man, Dr. Light finds out how to work the ring. Yeah, the ring. Fudging, whatever. The teleporter that takes the characters between worlds, and basically Mega Man comes up with a plan to trick Sonic through the portal into his world, and all this time Tailsman is watching on, and now it's basically on Mega Man's turf. So things are about to switch up, I think, a bit between Sonic and Mega Man, and that's basically the long and short of it. Lots of other stuff went on in this book, lots of other dialogue, definitely something to look into. Free Comic Book Day, they offered you a prelude book, which is part 0 to the Sonic Mega Man Worlds Collide. I did get a copy. We did not get to go out this Free Comic Book Day, unfortunately, for several reasons. But at 11 a.m. on the dot, I was on MidtownComics.com when they released all the books for order online, and I got basically everything except minus 1 or 2, which my good friend and fellow co-worker on Comic Related, Chuck, actually was able to get me 2 of the 3 books, because 1 of the 3 books I really didn't want. He got me 2 of the 3 books I needed. I basically got everything this year, which I wanted plus, so I'm very grateful for that. I did miss out on the magazines, but the magazines weren't the #1 priority in my mind. It was the actual comic books. Exactly.
That's all that matters.
So I'm looking forward to getting those probably at the end of next week, just like I'll be getting my comic books next week. Look forward to a special haul video for Free Comic Book Day at the end of next week. Wish I could have done it on Free Comic Book Day, guys, but a lot of stores actually limit how many comics you can get. I'm actually grateful that online Midtown Comics allows you to get 1 of each, which is really great, which was really great. They're all sold out now. We're now in Marvel Comics, Hawkeye number 10. Basically, to sum it up, it's basically you're getting the background story on the person that's going after Hawkeye now. And that's it. You don't even get to see Hawkeye until the final few pages of the book. And his name is, he actually is flirting with Kate at the beginning of the book. Kazi. Kazi. And, yeah, he's a hitman, basically. The artwork is great, but once again, it's basically, it pauses the story to give you an origin of the antagonist that's going to be around probably for the next issue or 2. So really not too much Hawkeye in Hawkeye issue 10. Basically just giving you the background on a brand new antagonist for the book. I leave this book up to you guys. If you did miss out on this book, I don't believe you'd lose out on the story, because this story actually ends where the last issue ended. So if you want to just skip a background issue, this would be the one to do it. I wouldn't recommend it, because Hawkeye's a really good series. However, I do have to say, I kind of feel like I missed, I missed the story. I can't wait for the next issue now, just because I want to see the story move forward, and origins and stuff like that. I feel, yeah. This is the one time where I would say doubling up a month wouldn't be a bad thing for a certain book because of the whole origin thing that they put out with this book. Once again, guys, I did mention it several times on my unboxing, I gotta get used to saying this, the Friday comic book haul, and a few other videos. Deadpool is doubling up. If Deadpool does not... Yeah. A lot of Marvel books are doubling up, and that's why the Marvel pile is literally this big. There's 3 more books plus Michael's, and there's another one of Michael's in here, plus Hawkeye. And that's it. And the rest is all DC. So, you know, if a book is not really, like, spectacular, over the top, and it doubles up, it goes. And Deadpool, just to be honest, after last issue, it was okay, but it doesn't pull the weight of a double issue a month series. So we'll see where the next issue goes next week, and we'll see if I drop it or not. But now we're going to Mike with
X-Men Legacy, issue number 10.
Oh, caught up to Hawkeye. This is actually doubling up now too, you know.
Really?
Yeah, Legacy is actually doubling up. It comes out the same time as Factor.
Well, like I said, there is no...
Oh, the artwork changed?
No, it looks almost the same.
No, artwork changed.
Oh, well, I'll give him
maybe
the artwork.
I don't know.
Yeah, this page. Yeah. There is no Legion root date number 3. Thank God for that, because that's what I was concerned about.
No, yeah, I was concerned about that.
Well, yeah, but basically, Legion's father comes back, and he makes a deal with him about Legion, who wants to foresee the future, and if you want to see all the information, you should pick up this book or check my in-depth review on Dark Avenger Inc.
Which is actually up now.
Which is up now.
Took forever. I don't know what happened, but between 12 a.m. to 3 p.m. on this past Sunday, it took forever to get those videos uploaded.
So Legion goes to a San Francisco Institute of Biosocial Studies, where they know he's a mutant because there was an alarm that detected he was a mutant.
Detector.
Yeah. And he meets up with Mr. Marcus Glove, or Doctor. Well, yeah, he's kind of like a doctor, so to say. And the ending part, he asks him to do him a favor, which is this word right here. And Ruth saw it, and she's not liking what Legion asked Mr. Marcus Glove to do to him. I know. And there's a whole reference to when he went to the church and what happened with his powers and whatnot, but if you want to find out, guys, you should read the book. It did pick up from the past 2 issues, I would say.
So it's a cure for the mutant powers, basically, because I see people going in with mutant powers and coming out normal.
Yeah, so technically, guys, if you want to know more about that, you can check my in-depth review or pick up the comic yourselves, but really good.
We're going into all new X-Men, issue number 11. The Battle for the Atom, I believe, is the title of the series that's going to be going through most of the X-books. Is coming soon. But for right now, all new X-Men, issue number 11 was spoiled through Uncanny X-Men. The latest issue, well, 2 issues back, where Angel joined the Uncanny X-Men's team. So when you get to that second page and it turns out it's Angel, it's not a huge shocker anymore. And Jean doesn't like Angel's decision. There's a huge fight that happens, and when Jean finally sees she can't get her way, she basically using her psychic powers, forces Warren to go inside. However, Emma Frost and the Cuckoos decide they're going to actually teach Miss Gray a lesson, and it took Cyclops, present Cyclops, to tell Emma to back them off. But they backed off, but they showed that Jean doesn't exactly have full control over her powers yet, and Angel is basically gone with the Uncanny X-Men. The rest is Mystique's plan still moving forward, and this time it gets the attention of another team, which I'll mention at the end of the book. Jean kind of being confronted by Kitty Pryde, who says basically either chill out or I'm going to find a way to send all of you back, and I'm going to do it without you even being able to read my mind and figure it out until it's too late and you're back. So that's the reconciliation there. However, the very end, it looks like, and for those of you that read the solicitations, once again, this is no shocker for an ending, but basically the next issue enters the Uncanny Avengers. So Alex Summers, Scott Summers' younger brother, is about to meet his brother from the past.
Do
making
they still
Alex
call
the
him-
older brother now.
Do
What?
they still call him Havoc from?
Yeah, they still call him Havoc.
Oh, okay. Just want to be sure because, you know.
So that's going to be an interesting little mix-up there in the next issue. However, I am glad that the Uncanny X-Men and the all-new X-Men are now separate again. You know, they're going their own way because there's going to be a huge mashup coming very soon to all of the X books, and that's going to be very interesting. I believe that's going to start happening either in August or in September. I believe it's going to be September or August. I believe it's September. I could be wrong. We'll find out when the August solicits come out, but yeah, it's going to be one hell of a mashup. And what happens, not only in the X books, but in the entire Marvel Universe, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, they killed Hank Pym in the latest Age of Ultron, and apparently there are going to be ripple effects when the whole miniseries is over, so we'll just have to see what happens there. So go ahead, Mike.
X Factor Hell on Earth War Part 6, issue number 255. This comic book, it's still going really excellent. The Hell on Earth War, like, I'm really liking the story. Basically, it takes, like, leaves us to where the last issue left us off, where Monet and Guido are fighting, whereas the X Factor team is fighting with the self-possessed Jamies, and Jezebel is trying to get tired to fight the Demon Lords, whereas Mephisto comes in saying that basically, you know, like they don't have to fight no more, and basically Mephisto took over the Earth. And Guido and Monet, when they had their fight, didn't turn out so well for Monet. Like, first she was unconscious, but the ending was really something else there. Tyre has a change of mind to fight the Demon Lords because he doesn't want Mephisto to win, I guess. And in the end, spoiler here, Monet died in the X Factor team. And to be concluded in the next issue, I'm guessing it's the Hell on Earth War.
Yeah, the series isn't ending just yet.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, after seeing Monet die, it was like, the X Factor team's getting smaller and smaller. But,
well, that's the whole point. They're going to keep getting...
Well, yeah, I know that's the whole point, but it was excellent, though. I recommend you pick it up, and I left some stuff out, because if you guys want to read more, pick it up. So, back to you. Oh, no.
It's the last one. There's nothing left. Next is DC. The book that pissed off a whole bunch of people, and I mean, really, I mean, they showed Twitter messages
just
on this
show the
book.
comic book.
It's pissed off a few people, and it's got another couple of people happy, but this is Superior Spider-Man 9.
No.
I'll show you guys a couple of sample pictures, but that's it. Basically, it's the fight between Doc Ock and Peter Parker inside the mind of Spider-Man. Once and for all, it's Superior versus Amazing. I want to get a picture of Superior versus Amazing. It's the Superior Spider-Man versus the Amazing Spider-Man. Winner gets all.
Yeah.
Whoever loses is eradicated forever, or forever, because this is a comic book. And basically, in the end, as we all figured, because Superior Spider-Man's going all the way through until August, actually July, and Superior Month is coming up very soon. Anyway, Doc Ock in the end wins the fight, and this is what pisses everybody off. So now, not only has Peter Parker lost his body and physically died, but now he's mentally also dead, meaning there's no more Ghost Spider-Man, no more I'm gonna find a way back. It's over. The end.
They better bring him back.
And the major event they were talking about in the summer has nothing to do with Peter Parker at all, actually. It involves Shadowland.
Why are they going to Shadowland?
I don't know. So there is no more Peter Parker at all now. Dan Slott gave everybody 9 issues to get used to seeing, you know, to wean us out of Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and now he just cut us all off cold turkey. This issue is going to be the end for me for now, because getting used to Doc Ock as Spider-Man is definitely something I am not getting used to. However, Dan Slott is going really far out of his way to pull emotions out of the readers, and he's doing a damn good job. Mr. Slott, my hat's off to you again. I hate you at times because of what you did, but my hat's off to you because you did the job. You did the job, period. Whether it's right or wrong by us readers and reviewers is a different story, but you did your job as far as making a impact and an uproar. Whether it be positive or negative, that's not for me to decide. I've always fallen towards Superman. Spider-Man was always my third place superhero.
I thought he was second.
He was second, third, because second really fell towards Superboy.
Oh, okay, because I
Superman,
thought it was...
Superboy, Spider-Man.
Oh, because me is Spider-Man, Superman, and...
Yeah,
Punisher.
so... And if you count Boy as in the Superman category, then yeah, he was my second. But anyway, if you count by person.
Technically.
So, I'm going to stick around a while longer. 2099 Spider-Man's coming. Green Goblin is still out there somewhere. I want to know... I want to see the puzzle pieces come together first before making a definitive decision. This is a twice-a-month book, though, however. It's a $3.99 book. The story starts to lack. The story goes bye-bye for a while. Just like in Amazing Spider-Man. Throughout my comic reviews, from episode 1 through to 100 or 150, I picked up and dropped Amazing Spider-Man several times before finally sticking with it from big time all the way until now. So it's not something completely off the table when it comes to dropping Spider-Man. It's not something that's completely out of the question. It's actually very much possible, as a matter of fact.
I just can't believe it's still going.
But for right now, I'll be getting the next issue. We'll see where the next issue goes before we make any hasty decisions. Next, there are 2 books.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go into DC Comics now, and we're starting off with the 2 books. They came out a while ago. Actually, this one came out this week.
Yeah, the other
This one came out this week. This one didn't. So
yeah.
you know what? Before we do yours, let's stick with mine, because mine didn't come out this week at all. Okay?
Fair enough.
Justice League of America issue number 1. This is the New York City variant cover. Yes, I did do the city variant. If I was going to buy number 1, I wanted my city. So,
our city. Because we live.
Well, I would hope you live with me, because if you're not here, you're here right now. So there you go. Everybody's already talked about Justice League issue 1. Basically, this is run, or the head of August? I want to make sure I say it right. Basically, I want to make sure I say it right.
Ooh, that was a nice picture.
It's abbreviated somewhere. Argus.
Oh, almost sounds like August.
There's a whole beginning part where Colonel Trevor is talking with Amanda Waller, who's the head of that now, and she's looking to put together a Justice League of America team, basically to answer if should the Justice League ever turn on the people, or a team that'll actually answer to the government. Basically like what Justice League International was supposed to be, but in the end we all know the Justice League International kind of went their separate ways and a few people ended up dying. And this entire book introduces each character, one character at a time, one member at a time, up until the last character, which is Catwoman. Everybody Amanda Waller picked except Catwoman. Catwoman, Steve Trevor actually picked as to join the team. And Amanda Waller wasn't too happy about that, but that's the way it is. And you even get your little diagram of if there was ever a fight between the Justice League and the Justice League of America, which superhero was picked to go against each. John Jones for Superman, Catwoman for Batman, Katana for Wonder Woman, Simon Boz Green Lantern for Hal Jordan Green Lantern, Flash, Vibe for Flash, Stargirl for Cyborg, I don't understand how that works, but okay, and Hawkman for Aquaman. So, throughout this entire first issue, we don't get to see Simon Boz at all. We just know how he's going to be brought onto the team. And also, we don't get too much of... Actually, Green Arrow doesn't even really... Even though it actually shows Green Arrow as part of the team, as you just heard, Green Arrow is not actually mentioned as a member of the Justice League of America, if you notice.
That's a shock, really, because he's...
But, even though he wasn't mentioned in the whole chart over here, there is a whole...
Yeah, because he was in one of the panels, wasn't he?
He was. He was actually mentioned by Amanda Waller several times before Stargirl. And I think it was that.
No.
We got Hawkman, who was first introduced, which then goes to Katana, which then goes to Vibe, and then there was a panel where they showed several members. Yeah. Here, John Jones, Simon Boz, and Green Arrow all at the and Green Arrow. But Steve Trevor's kind of like he doesn't exactly say. I want to make sure he's not the right candidate for the spot, which is the most important spot on the JLA. If you really... basically he chooses Catwoman over Green Arrow. That was what I wanted to say. I had to read the dialogue and it hit me. Basically, he tells Amanda Waller, no thank you, I think we have a better spot. Instead of Green Arrow, we're going to have Catwoman. However, with Green Arrow on the cover, you know that Green Arrow is going to be that other man out. And actually, Steve Trevor and Green Arrow was sent on a special mission, and at the end of this issue, you're believed that Green Arrow dies. However, we get into...
Don't tell me he did.
He didn't. Justice League number 2, and basically he went into surgery. He's in critical condition, but he's not dead, and he's not gonna die. And we find out that the Society of Evil, I believe it was. What was it? I want to make sure. Yeah, the Secret Society of Supervillains is actually putting Scarecrow into their midst. Basically, they're recruiting. They're trying to bring somebody back. They're trying to bring something even more frightening into the world, and basically Scarecrow is going to be a part of that. We get the first ever meeting of the Justice League of America, whereas once again Green Arrow is not there. Green Lantern, Simon Boz, does not make an appearance yet. So basically they're missing one of their members technically. They actually keep things in very good continuity. Amanda Waller actually says this Green Lantern at the moment is off-world, but with Simon Boz we can have him on a leash. So he is part of the team, he's just off-world at the moment. And you actually got to see a little bit of a development between Catwoman and Steve Trevor, because Steve Trevor was shot... Yeah, he was shot down by Wonder Woman, who said, I'm sorry, it would never work, and Catwoman always gets shot down by Batman. So you see a little bit of a development there. And you find out all about Mr. Green Lantern's secret mission, where he actually poses as a supervillain, but he was found out. And John Jones is one of those people where he's there with Colonel Trevor, but the second anybody else is around, he disappears. And this was actually the part where Trevor actually says, I opted you out of the team. Where was it? It's going to take a Justice League to confront the problems. One I've been assigned to lead, and one I'm afraid you can't be a part of. And that's where Green Arrow's like, huh? To be continued in the next few seconds. Guys, I've had a placeholder for the commercial spots for a very long time. Finally, one of the many commercials that I have been waiting to have between this video is ready to go. So enjoy. Finally, as the commercials start to roll in bits and pieces at a time, and I'm talking about myself and Mike too. We have several commercials. We are actually working on funny little things. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these brief messages. See you guys really in a couple of seconds. Artwork in this book, I mean, it's spectacular. Oh, whoa, we're back.
Oh,
we're back.
Yes, we are.
We're back. So, yeah, we were just talking about the artwork here in Justice League of America number 2. So, basically, where I left off before the commercial was where, basically, Steve Trevor said, we don't need you on the team. We're good. But, of course, Green Arrow doesn't like that. They go to, I forgot what this place was called. I hate when that happens. See, this is why I told you should have read this book.
But
you always remember things. You always remember things that I don't.
Well, maybe they should read the book to see where.
And it turns out they thought it was you thought in the first issue it was the Justice League going after Green Arrow, but actually it's mechanical copies of the Trinity heroes. And that's where it's to be continued. You also get a backup story with John Jones. And this is John Jones promoting the Justice League of America to the president. Artwork's really good. And I'm guessing there's going to be backup stories from now on because this is a $3.99 book. And the great news is, issue 2 came out 2 months ago, I believe. So next week, as a matter of fact, we are so lucky that next week issue 3 comes out. So you can look forward to issue 3 next week. I was skeptical when issue 1 came out, and I got mixed reviews. A lot of people said I'll love it, and a lot of people said I'm going to be bored with it. After reading the first 2 issues, if I read just issue 1, I would have been like, eh. But after reading this issue, I'm hooked on the series. I see a lot of awesome potential for this. As soon as, of course, Simon Boz joins the team and we get Green Arrow in there, because we all know Green Arrow's on the cover. Green Arrow's going to be in this, whether Colonel Trevor wants him to be or not. So once the team finally completely forms up and things move forward, it's going to be a really interesting read. And it's going to be really, really interesting when we have the Trinity War.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun, because now we have all the Justice League books. I'm reading Justice League. We're getting Justice League of America now, and this boy reads Justice League Dark. So we're going to have the full Trinity without having to worry about buying any extra issues unless we want extra stuff. Now we're going to go into your 2 books, because this book didn't come out this week. This book came out last month, and the book he's going to get into next after this came out this week. So.
Okay, The Phantom Stranger, issue number 7.
With the fold-out cover.
Yeah, there was a fold-out cover. I don't know the character of Phantom Stranger until I read this book. So, just saying, right there.
Michael's new.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Basically, he's on a search, the Phantom Stranger, for his family, and you get a dog who is in disguise of another person. It all works good. I will say that.
I did get a chance to briefly read through this one. I read through the other one a bit more, but this one I read through briefly, and I'm actually surprised that the Question's a bad guy.
Yeah, that's another thing also.
Because in the old DCU, he was good. At least to my knowledge. Once again, I read Superman more than anything else, so I don't know, maybe the Question jumped around a bit, but it was whoa when I saw that.
Yeah, so he meets with a friend, and they can't call him Superman because he's on a deep space mission.
Of course. Anytime somebody attacks him, we're in a different book. They're in a deep space mission somewhere.
So like I said, he makes a friend. Forgot what his name was. I think Jack his name was. But yeah, but anyway, they're fighting against this big, huge monster. And yeah, Jack was his name. Yeah, he gets... you know,
I love the dog. Dog is so cute.
Yeah.
He's a cute doggy.
Yeah, and then there's stuff that happens there. So meanwhile, there is somebody there who has a little talk with a Phantom Stranger, and there's a bit of
the cover says what happens in the very end.
Yeah, so basically there's also a betrayal.
Which basically was on the cover.
So I say no more, it's on the cover. But I was, I mean, it was all talky at first, but ever since that whole thing that was going on in the city, I actually liked it.
Okay, so that's a like.
That. Which leads into this comic book of The Phantom Stranger issue number 8, featuring the Justice League Dark team crossing over with this, and it takes off where the Phantom Stranger issue 7 was.
So there's your Justice League Dark. So there's your connection to your other book that you read.
Yeah, the Justice League Dark helps out the Phantom Stranger because he was left on their doorway, and he meets up with this guy, and like we don't know who he is. Like he just talks to him about all the betrayals and about the Phantom Stranger's family, but it's like, the fire said was not your family, it's Philip Stark's, and there's like a whole thing of how the Phantom Stranger became Philip Stark, and if you want to know,
or fused with
him. I mean, if you want to know more about it, you know, you should pick up the book. We also get a appearance of the woman. I wanted to show that picture of that. That helps out the team.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Nightmare Nurse is introduced here.
That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. When I first heard that, I was like, Nightmare Nurse.
Yeah. And Zatanna summoned her and to help him out. So he finds out more about his family, and you know, he didn't like what they did, but
they brought him back.
Well, they brought him back, but now he knows where his family is, and he's going to try to bring them home, and that's to be continued in the next Phantom Stranger comic. So
I'm glad I bought it. I like the artwork. I like that book.
Yeah, the artwork was good. Did I show artwork? Yeah, I did.
You did. You showed a lot of it.
I know. I just.
I like the artwork. I didn't get to read 7 fully yet, but I did read this one fully, and this was very interesting.
Absolutely.
This was very interesting, and you know, I keep saying, you know, a lot of people were pushing Phantom Stranger in front of our faces when it first came out. Not to be confused with people who are commenting it. People were messaging me profusely about Phantom Stranger and stuff about older superheroes and stuff like that. And at the time, I was knee-deep in Marvel Now #1s. So I was unable to get it. But even if I was, because so many people were like boasting about it, but in a joking fashion, I figured it was going to be a fail. I figured from what people were saying that it was a failed book.
And also,
however, R. Dowdy actually was the one that said, you know, you should check out Phantom Stranger and stuff. And he was one of the reasons why I said, you know, he's actually serious about it. And he's done reviews on the books. Maybe to give it a shot. And then especially after issue 7 with the question happened, and then I saw Justice League Dark was in this issue, I said, okay, we have the room. A lot of Marvel Now books went bye-bye before they made it past their 5th issue. Let's see how some of the DC books are going, and this was definitely a pleasant surprise.
And I got to know about how, because when he talked about his family, I'm like, what is he talking about? And after reading this, I'm like, okay, that all makes sense. So if you get 7 and 8, you'll get a understanding of the character. But it was good. It was a great read to get introduced to a brand new character, actually. And another book.
Now Mike's final book. They're all old. The books from Michael this week, other than the Marvel books, are all like from previous weeks, except for Phantom Stranger.
This comic book
last week. It's a return from Michael.
Are you ready, guys? All-Star Western issue number 19. And now I know all of you are saying, "Wait, Mike, didn't you bash this book all this time and said you would never come back?" Well,
one person saved it.
Yeah. After hearing the Booster Gold was in it,
I bought it first because I wanted to know what happened, because after he disappeared in the last issue of Justice League International, the special, I want to know, wait, why? How did he get in the past? And it actually explains it.
Yes, so we get Booster Gold as Sheriff and Jonah Hex, who met each other for the first time, and there's a new people in town who actually terrorized the town and robbed the bank, or what was left of the bank in the little town there. And I love how they do the introductions and explanations of the after effects of the city and who's behind it, which was the Hoopkins, spoiler there. And also I liked how they explained how Booster Gold became sheriff of the town.
How he got there.
And how he got there especially.
I love that splash page.
Yeah, this one.
We need to get Dan Jurgens on the artwork now a bit, because Dan Jurgens does an awesome job with Booster Gold.
Yep. And then, I mean, it jumps back and forth, but it makes sense to like saying, okay, now I know how he became how Booster Gold became sheriff and everything else that happened. So it wasn't that tough of a read. And we also get introduced to another character that was from the cover, and that would be in the very end, Stormwatch. And I'm not sure if I confused Stormwatch with another character in my in-depth review, because I thought it was that guy, but his name was Cody Barlow, I think his name was. Just want to make sure I got it right. Let me see. Yeah, Cody Barlow. Yeah, Master Gunfighter. So, I was amazed that...
It's only been what? You dropped it at issue what? 5?
I think it was 5 when they were at that cave thing and when that professor was on his side. But after reading this, I'm gonna jump
14 issues later.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna jump back and see what's in store for All-Star Western. But if it starts to drag out again,
well, then, you know where it goes then. It goes
well,
right
yeah,
back.
But it is a comic that I'm hooked back on, so expect the All-Star Western back in my reviews.
It actually says All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex now. It doesn't actually just say All-Star Western.
Yeah, but we know it's Jonah Hex, but I
get
what you're saying. Yeah, so you can pick it up.
Okay, we're going through the rest of the books I get. Animal Man issue 20 this week. I don't want to say bored, but it's not about Animal Man. It's about his acting career and him playing Red Thunder and how Red Thunder kind of like coincides with things that were going on in his life, sort of. Not a fan of the artwork when it comes to the Red Thunder story arc or the Red Thunder parts, because in the very end, we go all the way to the end. There's a whole reason why this entire book's about Red Thunder. At the very end, the last, I want to say it's the last, yeah, the very last page actually, because you finally get the back to the regular artwork at the very end of the book. The whole point of the whole Red Thunder thing is Buddy Baker actually gets nominated as Best Actor. And this book, after reading this book, I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. Buddy's going to go back into acting, and stuff's going to happen while he's acting, and I don't know if I'm going to be interested. But then I started reading the bottom. Fame comes to Buddy Baker. That's what I was figuring was going to happen, and I was going to be bored. However, the rest got me. Maxine is lost in the red. Buddy versus the Totems. All begins next issue. If they would have just said Fame comes to Buddy Baker and say next time it all begins, I would have probably ended up saying I don't know if I'm coming back. But the last two parts, the Maxine being lost in the red and Buddy actually going face to face with the Totems, that is what actually drew me back into the series, like post haste, like immediately. It was an interesting issue. Not a fan of Jay Lee's art, so the cover already kind of retracted me a little bit from the book. It kind of like made me go, oh boy. However, Jay Lee did not do the internal artwork. I have no problem with Jay Lee. It's just his artwork is not my style at all. I mean, I could sit through a book by Chris Bocello, but I went through one book of Jay Lee's before Watchmen, Ozymandias, and I just could not. That's why I'm not getting Batman, Superman, the first story arcs at least, until the artwork changes. Jay Lee's artwork is something you really have to be into, or else you're gonna really. But it was only the cover. But that's beside the point. We're not gonna go into a Jay Lee anything. But the book itself is all about him being Red Thunder. Is it an important book? Is it a super important book? Can you miss it? Yes, because I just told you the main point. He got nominated for Best Actor. And that's going to lead into the next. This is like a segue issue. Kind of like Hawkeye number 10. This book, ironically, with a red, 90% or 80% red cover, is something that you can miss out on because the main point is like in the last page. Well, the other book was an origin. This one is basically just explaining or segue into the next part. Swamp Thing 20, however, Swamp Thing was taken out by Scarecrow, so he's now in Dream World, where all of his doubts and fears and everything else are being brought to life. However, in the Awake world, Swamp Thing is engulfing all of Metropolis in green, and it's up to Superman to stop him, or the Green at least.
I thought Superman was on a deep space mission.
In Phantom Stranger he was. In this he's not.
Wow.
So, well, the whole point was Superman was going to guest star in Swamp Thing from the last issue, the fold-out cover, if you remember.
Oh, okay.
And I love how in the New 52, well, I don't, this is sarcasm. In the old 52, Superman saves the day. Yay, hooray for Superman, and thank you so much for being here, and whatever, shakes hands and flies off. New 52, however, I don't want you to think we're not grateful. We are. I'm not sure we could have handled that, but there are a lot of other people in danger tonight, and this stuff just keeps happening. This job's gotten a hell of a lot harder ever since you people showed up. Do you know what it is this time? These plants, is this one of your battles or whatever? So basically people are starting to blame the superheroes for all the crap that's happening in the world now. So, I don't know. That's something to get used to. So, the rest of the book is Superman saving the day from all the greenery and figuring out where Swamp Thing is while Swamp Thing's dealing with his own personal demons in his mind. Superman finds Swamp Thing. I'm not going to say how he snaps Swamp Thing out of it. Read the book. You'll find out. And in a very polite way says, yeah, you got to go. You can't really stay here. And of course Swamp Thing does leave. He just wanted to talk to Superman. That was the whole point of him being in Metropolis from the last issue. But Superman said it was all about a connection. He's like, how do you stay connected to the world? He's like, our choices, Alec. We're not monsters. We can be as human as we want to be. I find people to help. That's how I find my connection. You just have to find yours. That had me. This book had me. I was like, okay, I'm going to be excited for the next issue. Swamp Thing goes to Louisiana, and unlike Animal Man, this is where I start saying, oh no, please tell me this isn't going to go in a direction where I'm going to be like, I'm going to drop it. Swamp Thing comes face to face with this woman. We don't know who she is yet. She's like, Avatar, I thought you'd never return. Save me. To be continued. Yeah, that's what it left me going, oh god, somebody asking to be saved by Swamp Thing, this is going to end bad.
But what's Swamp Thing gonna do?
I don't know what Swamp Thing's gonna do at all. Batwing issue 20. Luke Fox is now the new Batwing, and Batman sends him to Africa, because that's where Batwing is stationed, Africa. Lucas Fox actually has to lie to his dad, whom I don't like his dad. His dad really just wants him to go to college, get a good job, and that's it. Settle the rest of his life away. And I don't like... I know he's a really major part of Batman's world, but as a father, I question it a lot. It jumps back and forth to how Lucas became Batwing, but really, he's already on his first mission, and these are the people he's going after. Love the tech suit. I like the character's personality a lot in this book. I really do like Luke Fox's attitude and personality a lot. It's definitely a character that I can invest my time reading because I really do like the character. It's action-packed, as you can see. I love the new suit, love the new Batwing. I'm definitely invested in the series. The only thing is, Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, is trying to hide Lucas Fox, or the news that Luke is actually Batwing, because Batman doesn't want his father to find out.
Oh, I see. So he's hiding it.
So he's trying to keep Luke from telling, or he wants to keep Luke safe. That's why he's not...
But isn't the whole point not telling people who you are?
No, yeah, but no, he's keeping Luke on training wheels, because in the very beginning of this book, Batman has like a contingency plan for Batwing and a bunch of rules. And Alfred's like, let him go, you can't make him... You can't be his crutch all the time, because then he's going to become dependent on you. He's like, yeah, I know, but if anything happens to him, his father, you know, etc., etc. So he wants to keep Batwing alive this way. His father doesn't find out that he's Batwing. So, really good. This story has a lot of potential, and I look forward to what's going to be happening next. Batwing is definitely a recommended book from DC this week from me. Oh, you actually do have another book.
Yeah.
I completely forgot it.
Yeah, I was like saying, wait a minute, don't I have another book?
Earth 2 number 12 is mine, though. So, Dr. Fate is now Dr. Fate. And at first, you see Khalid is having a bit of a control issue between himself and Naboo. The artwork is spectacular. And that's why he starts losing the fight to Wonton. However, finally he listens to the helmet, or to Naboo, and they basically go back to Earth. They leave the magical realm and go back to Earth, Boston to be exact. Green Lantern with Hawkgirl are still doing their research in China, and it involves Apocalypse. We see a bunch of parademons. And this is all connected somehow to Green Lantern's boyfriend's death. And for those of you that didn't know Green Lantern was gay by now, where the hell have you been? Anyway, Green Lantern is drawn from his ring to Boston because of what's going on between Wonton and Dr. Fate. And I'll be honest with you, not even 2 pages in, Dr. Fate beats Wonton. Like that. It's just over. That's it. 3rd page, you're done. So, Wonton's dealt with pretty quickly. So basically this is more of an introduction, or bringing Dr. Fate into the Earth 2 comic book. And they regroup in New York in Alan Scott's, what was it called again? The Global Broadcasting, his Global Broadcasting Company. And Alan Scott actually is ready to go back to China to continue his research with Hawkgirl. However, Steppenwolf shows up and declares war. To be continued in the next issue. So it's going to be interesting. The formation of the Justice Society is happening. And also, it is mentioned they want to find a way to, make peace with the people. They want to get the people behind them. This way, it'll actually ease the governments up, because the government is still going after all of them also. So they want to kind of become public figures. This way, if the public's behind them, it'll show that it'll keep the government kind of a little backed off. Really good issue. Really picking up big time. I feel bad I actually dropped issue 10 after issue 9. Anyway, Take over your last book.
Green Arrow issue number 20 is here. And this issue, it just keeps getting amazing. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino they're just providing the best Green Arrow comics still. So, so we get introduced to a new character who Komodo meets with, Golgothia, I think his name was. And he's like saying, you failed your mission of killing Green Arrow, so technically you have to go home. Basically, in that sense. Yeah, Naomi is in the act, but if you want to know what she was and what's happening with her, Henry Piff has to do some. So if you want to know what it was, check out my in-depth comic review where I explain it more. The Green Arrow versus Komodo fight in the graveyard in the rain especially was really epic and so awesome that it ended with a bullseye, but then he escaped somehow, Komodo.
Somehow.
Yes. So meanwhile, Green Arrow, or Oliver Queen actually, goes to Black Mesa, and next issue I think he's going to find a lot of answers in the next issue of Return to the Island. So that's something I'm looking forward to, because he could find out maybe more about his father.
More about returning to the island? Seriously?
Well, yeah, if he goes to the island. Now, I don't know if that means the story is going to drag, but if it means finding out answers about his father and everything else, who knows. But I'm looking forward to next issue. Excellent issue. Can't wait to see the next one.
Last book of the week, and for the first time in a very, very long time, it's a Superman book that we conclude this comic review with, and it's Action Comics issue 20. Now taken over by Tony S. Daniel, even though it says Andy Diggle. Andy Diggle did set the outline for this series, so basically Tony Daniel just kind of continued it forward. There is a secondary story in here involving Krypton, involving Jor-El, and I believe Zod, if I'm not mistaken. I want to make sure I'm right, because
well, if Jor-El's in it, doesn't that mean Zod's in it?
No, it doesn't mean Zod's in anything.
Oh.
It doesn't actually say who it is. It just says Colonel. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it does have something in there.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the secondary story, and that's okay. So, last issue we saw Superman. His hand was like literally completely infected with some type of a Kryptonian, or it looked like kryptonite.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Veritas. We get a lot of Smallville references in here. In the Krypton one, we get Jack Sur. You remember Jack Sur from Smallville. Jack Sur on Krypton is actually in the Krypton part. Here, Veritas. Basically, Superman is saved by, Dr. Veritas. And basically he's cured. Or it turns out that basically his body rejected the virus that was put in it, and basically it's separated from his body, and it's just a hand now. Superman's still weak from what happened, but they're trying to get answers from the hand. As soon as Superman gets close enough to the hand, however, it reacts. Only not in a good way, in an attacky way. And it grows. The longer it's in contact with Superman, the bigger and stronger it basically gets.
So it's basically like the power.
I was thinking a mix between Parasite and Bizarro.
Why Bizarro?
That's just what I'm getting.
Oh, well, with the S.
Yeah, because it's mimicking Superman, and at the same time, it leeches off of him. His skin cells, at least.
Okay.
So to stop it, Dr. Veritas actually exposes it and Superman to red rays, which are basically mimic the red sun of Krypton, which basically causes Superman to lose his powers. Superman has her dim the lights long enough so that he could grab a bit of his powers back and freeze the monster or the hybrid and destroy it. However, back in Metropolis, other humans were infected. However, this is a huge plan, don't forget, devised by Lex Luthor. So Superman comes back to Metropolis and tries to stop all of the hybrids. However, they all merge together from what I see and attack Superman all at once.
Oh, there's a green arrow for you.
And we get to see Lex Luthor in his new 52 armor.
Whoa.
And he's gearing up to save Metropolis from the alien menace they call Superman.
Didn't this comic happen in the past already?
Yes, sort of it did. So basically, Lex Luthor devised this plan to make Superman look bad once again, or evil, and now he's going to look like the big hero. However, let's not forget this is 1 year ago. We went from 5 years ago to 1 year ago.
Right.
We're going to see really quick in 1 year they're already closed the gap by 4 years. I think by another story arc or two, maybe not even, maybe this will be the final arc, until maybe one more after this, and then it'll be back to caught up to the present day. There is, like I said, the secondary story, which is from Krypton. Well, it says plus the world of Krypton, so there you go. Basically, this is gearing up, I believe, for the next story arc. I don't know if the artist that does this is going to be the artist in the next series. However, really awesome stuff. Definitely a recommendation this week from DC Comics. And with that, before we do a rundown of everything, the camera's about to go off, so let's actually switch the camera off, and then we will actually do the final roundup for this week's books.
Almost forgot.
So you can just turn that off and give us 2 seconds, and we will be right back at the click of a button. And there we go. Click of a button. Like nothing happened. Anyway, this week's books. Let's get through them, because we're going to have to use that later. Action Comics number 20. Awesome. Definitely something to check out. Green Arrow issue 20.
Excellent issue. Can't wait to read the next one.
As well as Earth 2 issue 12. I'm really amazed. All of a sudden this book just really picked up for me and I'm really enjoying it. As well as Batwing issue 20. Definitely something I recommend. Swamp Thing issue 20 was good up until that last page, and now I'm having this itching, very kind of like feeling. So we'll see where it goes from there. Animal Man issue 20. It all led to the final 2 pages. The whole point of this book was the last 2 pages, and that's going to lead into the next story arc. So this is a segue. Something you can miss if you want. All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex, number 19.
This book was surprisingly good, and I'm back on All-Star Western.
Phantom Stranger 8, as well as 7.
If you want to understand the whole story, read 7 and 8 together, but all in all, great issue.
Justice League of America 1 and 2. Series is awesome. However, if I would have read just the first issue, I probably might not have come back for issue 2, so I'm glad I got both of them at the same time. Looking forward to next week's issue 3. Superior Spider-Man 9 did exactly... Are you done?
I hate that.
It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Pissed off a whole bunch of people. We'll see in the next issue whether I hold on to this or not. Once again, double up books, either they amaze me or they get dropped. This is my message to Marvel Comics, or my way of protesting against the twice a month shipping for books, for almost every single one of their books now. X Factor 255.
Amazing issue, looking good.
All New X-Men issue number 11 was pretty good as well. Definitely holding strong as one of my favorite books from the New 52. New 52. I knew I was going to do that. I mentally tried to stop myself, couldn't. Marvel Now. X-Men Legacy issue 10.
Good issue. I liked it.
And Hawkeye issue 10 was an origin of the person that's going to be hunting Hawkeye, so to speak. A missable issue if you want. However, you won't have the background story on the person going after Hawkeye, and you're going to be going, who the heck is this character? This book kind of explained that to you. In this case, it's justified to have 2 issues in the same month. In this case alone, because the story didn't move forward. Sonic the Hedgehog 248, really awesome.
Epically
Really enjoying Worlds Collide. It's a sold out book, even issues 1 through 3, as well as the prelude now sold out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics,
It's
even though it was
excellent.
released, is still excellent.
And it has movie reference as well.
And Garfield 13, my guilty pleasure. Definitely something I would recommend to any Garfield fan. And with that, that's it for this week, guys. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com for all your comic-related news, reviews, a whole bunch more. Little bit of news when it comes to the related recap. It definitely will not be this week due to several factors, and one of them being actually my fault because, once again, I did not go out for Free Comic Book Day, so I won't have my free comic books in time to do a show this week. So because of myself and other reasons, the show is definitely not going to happen this week. We're hoping and praying and pulling for next week, and I'm really hoping myself, as much as you guys are, because I know I'm going to get a lot of messages because of this, that next week we will have the episode, mine and Brent's first episode up for the related recap. We are keeping the numbers the way they are, so it's not going to be episode 1 or podcast number 1, but it is going to be our first together on the related recap. That's coming soon. Trying to think if there's anything else at the moment. Don't forget to also, there's nothing else I can think of. So also don't forget to check out darkavengerinc.com. Right now it takes you to our YouTube channel. And we try to give you guys, in this case yesterday, a bunch of videos. So this way when you come back on the channel you have something new to watch. We're working on the website as we speak. It's a very slow process. We'll see, hopefully in the near to close distant future it'll be up and ready to go. This way when you go to .com it'll give you the website. But right now it takes you to the YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, to this channel, Dark Avenger Inc., or any of the members on Dark Avenger Inc.'s channel, if you haven't subscribed, please do, because we try to give you a lot of content each and every day. So this way when you come on YouTube and you check your subscription box, you'll have something new to watch. And being subscribed to our channels, you won't miss out on a single thing. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. Don't forget to check out my new series, which started up. It's the video right before this one. Don't forget to check out Comics Point 3 as well. We had a nice discussion this week about Free Comic Book Day. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.